that on there. On November the 18th, 1978, the American people were informed of one of the most shocking news stories from Guyana. Everyone from the People's Temple in Jonestown, led by James Jones, had committed mass suicide. 912 people were dead. 276 were children. What happened to James Jones in Guyana? I have researched this topic thoroughly, and in order to understand his actions, we have to look at a brief history of Jim Jones. We have to look at how he became the master of deception and the addictions that led to the tragic ending. At the end of my speech, you will understand some of what led Jim Jones to make the choices and the decisions that he did in Jonestown. Let's look into his brief history. James Warren Jones was born May 13, 1931. At a very young age, his mother began to compare him to Jesus Christ. From the Jonestown's Mass Suicide article, History Today, Volume 58, Issue 11, and I quote, "As a boy, James Warren Jones had been recognized by his mother as a religious messiah. He cherished the identification. As a young man, Jim Jones formed the People's Temple in 1956 in Indiana. He moved the church to California in 1966. Now let's take a look at how he became the master of deception. The People's Temple had a very simple profile of their members, and the main thing was impressionable. People that had met the end of the roads, personal problems, business problems. They didn't know what to do. They didn't know where to go. Very easy prey. They had a very sophisticated recruitment system. The potential members, Jim Jones would hire people to go out there and get all the personal information that he could from them. Dig through their trash, break into their homes when they weren't there, get their medicines. And when the potential member came to church that next Sunday, in the middle of his sermon, he would always stop and go, "Oh, God has just touched my hand." And he would start beginning to quote the personal information that he had gotten. That potential member would be amazed, and they would think that he is the second coming of Christ. And from that moment on, Jim Jones had complete control of their lives. The end of hope and the results of choices brought Jim Jones to his dead end. Jones led the People's Temple to Guyana by promising them a utopian community. Unfortunately, the people did not know he had also become addicted to a variety of amphetamines. All of them had the same side effects, which were paranoia, disillusions, and suicidal depression. Jones had become so preoccupied with death at that time, he was actually having suicide rehearsals in the compound 2 to 3 times a week in the middle of the night. From an article called Jim Jones, the Dead Hypnotist, from Science News, Volume 116, Issue 22, 1979, Joel Greenberg quotes, and I'm quoting from him, "A mass meeting would ensue. Frequently we would be told the jungle was swarming with mercenaries and that death could be expected at any minute. We were informed that our situation had become hopeless, and the only course of action open to us was mass suicide for the glory of socialism." Unfortunately, the rehearsal turned into reality one night. Jones had completely lost all grips of reality, as noted from his own last words. And I'm quoting this from an article called "Hurry, My Children, Hurry," a recording that reveals the death throes of the Jim Jones cult from Time Magazine, Volume 113, Issue 13 in 1979. This is his own last words. "Hurry, my children, hurry. Quickly, quickly, quickly. No more pain, no more pain. All you have to do is drink and go to sleep." That's what death is, sleep. Have trust. Step across. This world is not our home. The next thing is eerie silence. What happened to Jim Jones in Guyana? We've looked at a brief history of his life. Excuse me. To how he became the master of deception and the addictions that led to his own tragic ending. We have the facts, the pictures, and the newsreels that have been analyzed and scrutinized by the psychiatrists and the experts of every description. But we will never, ever be able to understand what triggered Jim Jones to become one of the most massive suicide in all of recent mankind. On November the 18th, 1978, the American people were shocked by the most shocking news out of Guyana. 912 people dead.